Hey, Liberty North, AP Psych and dual credit Psych. Welcome to the final and 6th period YouTube live stream. So hopefully this is the best one so far. Although today I did nail the first hour one. It was actually maybe the video that I put up there, which is a surprise, okay? But today we're gonna go over this kind of 4-part agenda real quickly with our Unit 1 review. And then we have a practice quiz question, and then we'll end with some extra credit. Okay. All right. So just a review of, again, if you go to Canvas, you click on AP Psych, and then you go to assignments, and then go to Unit 1 assignment. Okay. That's how I'm going to put all of your assignments. All right. So click on Unit 1, and then that has been posted since we started school. And that tells you everything you need to do each unit, which will always be 4 things. Okay. Number 1 will be your AP notebook. Get all your AP notebook work finished. Number 2 will be your lab, which is Case of Carol. For Unit 1, you'll do your in-class vocab assignment, which will always be at the end, which you get to pick a topic and use 8 vocab terms. And then number 4 will be the quiz. Okay, so we're taking the quiz Thursday and Friday in class as a guided practice together. There'll be 2 AP learning targets that the entire class has to answer. You're going to set up Google Docs for each one. So you'll have 2 docs, and then you have to make sure that you contribute to each doc and that the class fully completes the question. Okay, which we'll go over here in a minute. All right, so Case of Carol, your lab, we did that together in class on Monday and Tuesday. You need to make sure that gets to me by Friday the 25th. I've had 2 ways students are primarily getting that to me. One is if they do it on a Google Doc, either in a group or by themselves, they're sharing it with me. Just remember, if you're doing any of the assignments in a group, which you can, and you turn it in together, I just need 1 copy of it, but then just make sure you identify which part you've contributed. Okay, so either color code your answers, put your name by it, because again, as we move forward, you can do it and you can do the assignment in groups, but you get an individual grade. Okay. Now, the other way that students are turning it in, which I think is probably the better way for you, is that they're actually doing it on paper in their AP notebook, and then they're just taking a picture of it and sending it to me. I like that because I think that obviously is good information to have in your AP notebook. It's good information to study, and it gives you an example of applying information. Okay. So just make sure I have that one way or the other. I definitely think most students are doing the paper copy and they're putting it in their AP notebook in case they need it, and they're just taking a picture and sending it to me, which is perfect. Okay. You can also give me a paper and pencil copy or a regular copy if you want. All right. Then your in-class vocab assignment, which by far, most students so far, actually, I don't think I've had anybody share this with me, are turning this in with a picture. So they're putting the vocab assignment in their AP notebook, and then they're taking a picture and sending it to me, which again is a great benefit, I think, to have this in your AP notebook because it gives you an example of application with vocab terms, okay? So at the end of each chapter, you're gonna have an in-class vocab assignment. Normally, you're going to get to pick your topic. You're going to have like 5 choices here. I just picked this one for you. So your topic, this unit, psychology. You have to go through your AP notebook and pick 8 vocab terms. Okay. And then 2 points for each one. Define and apply to psychology. All right. So we did an example Monday and Tuesday. So just make sure you do 8 different terms. Define them, your definition, not necessarily the book, and then apply to psychology. Okay. Now, remember our 2 hints that we talked about when you're learning to apply. Number 1, don't ever restate the definition in your application, right? And then number 2, sometimes it's just easier just to use an example, okay? Just use an example. So you can use an example from anything in class we did, from your personal life, from the book. That's the advantage of reading the book. They have lots of examples that you can use. And then Case of Carol, you know, anything that we have done in class, okay? Again, most students, which I think is the better way to do it, are just taking a picture. They're doing it paper and pencil in their AP notebook, and they're just taking a picture and sending it to me, okay? That's also due by the 25th, which is Friday. All right, so here is a example of what your quiz questions are going to look like. And this actually would be exactly what your quiz question looked like if I drew AP Learning Target number 1. All right, now this is just going to be a practice one, a guided practice one, so I won't choose Learning Target 1 for the quiz. It'll be 2, 3, 4, or 5, and you get 2 of them, okay? But this is just so you're comfortable with it. You can practice with this if you want, in preparation if you need it. All right, so I'm going to draw at random an AP Learning Target, which I did this morning, and I drew number 1. Okay, So you're going to have multi-level parts that you need to answer. These are short answer. Okay. They do not need to be in essay form or format. Okay. But the first step is always going to be to answer the AP learning target completely. Okay. Which we have already done. We've answered all the AP learning targets in class. Now, normally I'm not going to restate the learning target for you, but today I did. Recognize how philosophical and physiological perspectives shaped the development of psychological thought. Okay, so your first step is to answer that, which you should go to your AP notebook, look under your AP learning targets, find number 1, and then you should already have it answered or notes that are in there. Okay, and then you can answer it. Now, again, with most of the learning targets, there's not one golden answer. There are several different ways that you can answer it. You just need to make sure that you completely answer it. And there's several ways that you can format it, okay? But I just want to make sure you answer it completely, okay? So you can start with philosophy back at 450 BC in ancient Greece, okay? It's the study of thought. And then you can kind of go to physiology, which you could go back to 8000 BC when we talked about trephining, 1500 BC when we talked about brain surgery with Egypt, ancient Egypt. You could do the, this really starts to pick up during the Age of Enlightenment, the age of science, okay? Then you obviously need to include the 1600s, where these two combine or merge together to create psychology. So you could also talk about how these two are the ancient relatives, if you will, ancestors of psychology, and they merged together during the Age of Enlightenment to create the topic of psychology, okay? So anything there, that you want to do. You could also include 1879 when Wundt, who was a physiologist, created the first lab for psychology, and that was the modern beginning of psychology, okay? All right, so first step, answer the learning target completely, which you should already have done. Step 2, you need to utilize 5 different vocab terms from Unit 1, define them, and apply it to the learning target, all right? So you want to just scroll through your vocab and just find 5 learning targets that you can easily apply to this learning target. Now, I went and looked. I think anywhere from 1/2 to 2/3 of the words you could apply. Okay, so it's just whichever 5. Again, there's not 5 perfect words. It's just whatever 5 you think you can apply. So obviously, psychology would probably work pretty good. Most people are going to do that. And then there's just several. Okay. All right. Next step is identify 2 historical figures. Define them. Tell me why they're important, and then specifically why they're important and how they could apply to this. Okay, so you could do your ancient philosophers, Socrates, or Aristotle, Plato, Hippocrates. You could do Wundt, or any of your ancient, or any of your physiologists. You could do Bacon, Descartes, Locke, who were, Age of Enlightenment figures that were important to both areas. Again, most of your historical figures had a background in philosophy, physiology, or medicine. So, just pick the 2 that you can apply the best. And then you're going to go down and you have to discuss 2 different perspectives. So you're going to go to the perspective part of your AP notebook, and you're going to choose your 2 perspectives. All 5 could be used, and you're going to define them and then apply them specifically to the learning target. Okay, so you might want to take, this is the study of thought, so maybe the cognitive perspective. This is the study of the body, so maybe the biological perspective would be the 2 easiest to do, but you could do all 5 of them. Okay. There are several names you could use, and there are several vocab terms you could use. So it's really kind of your preference there, what you want to do. Now, the next thing you need to do is make sure you underline or highlight the 5 vocab terms you use, underline or highlight the 2 names, and underline or highlight the 2 perspectives, okay? Number 1, that's good for you, because generally when people miss a lot or lose a lot of points on a question, they just completely forget a part. And again, anytime you have a multi-level short answer question, which is what you'll have on the AP test, it's very easy to kind of forget where you are, that you've answered it, okay? So go back through and make sure you have all that information in there, okay? And then also it makes it easier for me to grade. All right, now again, this is not in an essay format, it's short answer. So you can bullet, you can list, you can even throw in charts in there if you want, graphs, however you want to communicate the information. But you just need to make sure that you define and apply it to this, okay? All right? Okay? All right? So this is exactly going to be the same format that you're going to use with your learning targets. You're just going to have you'll have two learning targets to do, and they'll be different, okay? And then that'll be your format moving forward to each quiz. And then I could obviously add, recognize 2 brain structures that would be applied to this learning target. List and define those as well. Okay. All right. Okay. So any questions? If you have any questions, just type them in the chat. Put a little prompt in there for you. Okay. Are we good? Again, so tomorrow and Friday, you'll be doing it in class together as guided practice. And then, then we're really going to start flying. And then again, it's the same 4 assignments every unit. Okay. So it'll be, again, by unit 3, you'll have the routine down. You'll know exactly what you're doing. You'll be on autopilot, and we'll start being able to really cruise with the information. Okay. All right. You need something to write with. Okay. So here's your extra credit. All right, I'm going to prime you to think of a 4-digit number. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you 4 individual pictures, and you need with each picture to write down the first number 0 through 9 that comes to your head. All right, so I'm going to do it quick in succession. So I'll flash the first picture up, first number 0 through 9 that pops into your head, you write it down. I'll flash the second picture, do the same thing, third, fourth, and so then you will have a 4-digit number. Then you need to email me that 4-digit number. If you get the right number, number 1, you should know it because it has unit 1 context, okay? And I will respond to you if you have the right number. If you email me the wrong number, I'm just going to delete it, okay? All right? So far, I think there's 17 correct answers for extra credit. All right, are we ready? Okay. First number that pops in your head. Second number. Third number. And fourth number. Okay. All right. So you should have a 4-digit number. Email me that. And if you get the extra credit, I'll respond. If not, I'll just delete it. Okay. All right. I'm not getting any questions on the chat. So if you have any, just email me, and I will see you guys Thursday and Friday. Have a good virtual Wednesday.